Hey there, I'm Teresa Cantley. I'm a business strategist and a marketing strategist, and I help small business owners to stop managing their business and actually start leading it. So I was thinking about this quote the other day, as within, so without, as above, so below. My mentor always used to say that. And I was thinking about how that quote actually relates to being a better leader. Being a better leader doesn't necessarily come down to tactics and strategies and telling people what to do. But there is one thing that will help you to become a better leader and build a stronger team that's more empowered. And what that is learning how to be more self-aware. So you've probably heard this term, self-awareness. So what actually is it? What it is how we go about monitoring not just our external world and our actions, but more of our internal world. We can manage our thoughts and emotions and our actions because so often we're just on autopilot and we're just in go, 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 go mode that we forget we're just focusing on the external, which is the tactics and telling people what to do, that we forget about the internal. And that internal piece and being more self-aware is actually what makes a huge difference in our business and our ability to build a stronger business. So what does that come down to? So what being more self-aware, what does that do for us? Well, first of all, number one, it helps us to be more aware of our distractions. So often we get caught up in distractions all day, email and people asking us questions and focusing on random things and just being busy, and we get caught up in that. So the more self-aware we are, the more that we can be aware of those distractions that come into our day that make us maybe not feel great or maybe distract our energy, and we end up focusing on things that we really don't want to focus on. So the more we're aware of what those distractions are and how they affect us internally and externally, the more we can manage them. And when I say manage them, I mean we choose our distractions, they don't choose us. So number two, the other thing that being more self-aware gets us to do as a leader is we are very aware of what we really want. What we want to be known for in our business, and how do we want to feel on a regular basis. The more we can connect to that, the more we can manage our distractions better, but also manage our day better. The third thing is really being aware and knowing what our strengths are. A sign of a good leader is somebody who knows their strengths, but also surrounds themselves with really good people who support them and help them to move that vision forward. So the more self-aware we are, the more we know what our own strengths are, and we can hire people for their strengths, for their values that will actually complement our strengths. And together, those two things will move the business forward faster. So, in leadership, being more self-aware and learning how to be more self-aware, what will that do for us? Well, number one, the first thing is it helps us to gain new perspectives. New perspectives lead to new innovations. New innovations and new ideas lead to making an impact. That also helps us having those new perspectives and being able to say, just because you think a certain way doesn't mean you are stuck in that and you can't change your perspective on something. So being more self-aware, knowing your strengths and your team's strengths will help you to gain new perspectives. Somebody has a new idea or a new way of seeing something. It also keeps you open to learning new things and open to being a student of life, because like I said, just because you think it needs to be done one way doesn't mean that's the only way. Number two, it helps us to manage our energy. We choose where to focus our energy. We choose what to focus on a daily basis. It goes back to that whole thing of we choose our distractions. We don't want our distractions to choose us. It also helps us to, when we're managing our energy, we can also use that to say, you know what, I'm going to have focused thinking time to get certain things done, these big priorities, things that are the most important. And then I'm going to be able to create space in my day so that I can be creative, so that I can talk to customers, so that I can connect with my team, so that I can focus on being the visionary in my business. When we don't have self-awareness and we're just doing random things and random action, well, then what happens? We don't really focus on what's important, and we don't focus on moving that vision forward. And the third thing that being more self-aware can do for us to be a better leader in our business is we become a better listener. We build that empathy bone, that empathy muscle, but we learn to be a better listener. And becoming a better listener, not listening to somebody just to speak and respond, but listening to them to hear them. People want to know that you hear them and that you understand what they're saying and you care about what they're saying. And when you're building a team, an empowered team, you want them to know that you hear what they're saying. You understand. You may not agree with it, but you hear them. The more you can connect them to your vision, the more you spend time being a good listener to really get to the heart of, if it's a problem, to really get to the heart of what the problem is, to really get to that underlying emotion. Or just to hear their ideas and hear their perspectives on things. Like I said, you may not always agree with them. They may not be the right thing, but you hear and you listen to what they're saying. But also listening to your customers, which is a huge thing. Listening to what your customers want, what they need, what they absolutely love about your business, and maybe what they struggle with the most. Being a good listener enables us to have better connections with our customers, our future customers, our team, and really ourselves. So these three things, learning how to be more self-aware and having that self-awareness, as within, so without. We work on the internal, really getting to know what it is that we want, where we want to go, what we want to do, what we want to be known for. The more we know and understand our strengths, the more we can hire the people that we need on our team to move our vision and our business forward. The more we can connect to our customers, our future customers, our current customers, and the more we can really focus on making a difference. If you want to hear more about this, go to teresacantley.com/iTunes, or if you listen to Stitcher or Google Play, you can go to that too, and listen to episode number 8 of my podcast, which is all about self-awareness.